Hi everyone, it is Wednesday. It's Woe Is Me Wednesday, and I am back. I'm back in the UK. I'm back at home, back in the office, and it's the first Woe Is Me Wednesday that we've done for a little while. So this week in M2360, in the inner circle, we are on pillar 4, which is action. And so in this pillar, we look at doing and being and the difference between busy work and inspired action. And today I'm going to dispel a couple of myths about action. So, hey, if you just joined me, let me know who you are, send me some likes, and join in, ask me questions. That would be fab. So, I know that quite a few of you are going to watch this on the replay because I didn't tell you what time I was going to go live today until just now. So let's just get right into it. And if you do join live, then yeah, you can always watch the replay. But as usual, just send me a couple of likes, and we'll get into a better routine, and it will go back to being 2 p.m. most weeks, and we'll send you out reminders and stuff. But for now, let's talk about action. So first off, let's talk about the idea of right action. I first of all just want to dispel this myth, because there is no such thing as getting it right. Here's the trick. Here is the kicker, the secret about action. Taking an action, any action, will create clarity. Apathy breeds doubt, and action breeds clarity. And the reason for this is, let's say that you're walking along a road and you stop. And suddenly you're like, oh God, round that corner there might be X, Y, and Z, and I need to be prepared before I get there. I don't know what is round the corner, so I will make it up from here. And when I'm 100% clear of what is round the corner, then I will start walking towards it. But the thing is, you won't know what's round the corner until you look round the corner. So maybe you stand there and you wait, and maybe somebody comes towards you from round the corner and you say, hey, what was round there? And they tell you their version of it. They tell you their reality of what they saw. And then you're like, okay, and you start planning for it. And someone else comes around the corner and you say, oh, what's around the corner? And they tell you something wildly different. And then you're like, oh God, I don't know what's around the corner at all. I'll just stay here and see what happens. And eventually I'll plan for all the different things. And you get more and more confused and more anxious and have less idea what's going on. And the best way that you could possibly find out what is round that corner is to walk towards it and turn. And when you do that, you will see for yourself what is round there. When you do that, you will be faced with your own reality, and you can deal with the situation as it comes up. And that's the thing about action. You have got all the tools you need, and the human brain is wired to solution find, which means that if you don't know something, you can figure out what it is that you need to learn in order to know it. That's how the brain works. So we can set some really big goals. We can set ourselves really big challenges, desires, things that we want to achieve. And this is the way the human brain works. If we don't know what the next step is, we will always know what it is that we don't know, and then we can go and figure that out. So the way that the kind of learning curve or the growth curve or the success curve works is that it will always go up and along, back a little bit, up and along and back a little bit. As you're moving forward, you will get to a plateau. You will get to a place where you need to learn something in order to grow. And in that place of learning, you will have to take a step back in order to figure out and calibrate and learn some new skills and move forward. But you have always got exactly what you need in order to learn what you need to do next, or the skill that you need next. And so that's the thing. So the secret that perfectionists don't know is that action breeds clarity and apathy breeds doubt. The longer you stay in the threshold of indecision, the longer that you stay in between places without choosing something and taking an action, the more uncomfortable it feels, the more confused you become, the more different people start telling you stuff, the less connected to your own sense of self and what works for you and your internal GPS you become. As soon as you start to move, motion is created, and that is like the butterfly effect. So that starts to then ripple out and everything else starts to move too. You get a response. If you are still, there is no response. As soon as you create motion, as soon as you start moving forward, as soon as you start taking action, then there is a response from the universe. And at that point, you will use your resources, your tools, everything that you've learned up until that point to know what to do next. And if you don't know what to do next, you will know what it is that you need to learn, or who can help you. And that's the way it works. That's the secret to taking inspired action and being someone who has huge growth. Huge growth in any area doesn't come from taking big jumps. It comes from taking consistent small action and figuring it out along the way, because the longer you are still, the further you become from the thing that you want. Every time you make a micro action, a micro decision, you learn something. You get some kind of response or feedback, and you can start to see whether it's a yes or a no. And you can start to learn and move forward. But you can't learn, grow, or move forward whilst you're keeping still. So that is all the secrets I have on action. There is a caveat to that. And that is that if your intuition says, I don't know what the next move is, and it's also telling you to rest and to be and to integrate, then that can be an action in itself. So that sometimes the action is to wait for more information. The difference between the two, and how you know whether to do something to create some motion so that there's a response and so that things shift and you can move forward, or whether you should rest and be, is whether it feels expansive or contracting, whether it feels like it's going to create more space in your life to move forward and to get some kind of feedback, or whether it will create more space in your life to rest and to be. And that is a skill in itself. When in doubt, do something to create some response. And once you do that, then you will get some feedback, and then you can start moving. And so there are cycles, and everything moves, I think, in a figure of 8 in terms of a cycle, which means that there's going to be pauses and rests. And sometimes it's an action. So the way that my pillars work is you've got awareness, aspiration, acceptance, action. That's the first 4. And then you have accountability, acknowledgement, appreciation, and ad infinitum. And so on the 4th step at each time, there is the first one is about doing something, and the second one is about being. So sometimes it's time to push and to act, and sometimes it's time to rest and integrate. And the only way you will know that is to keep trying. So if you're someone who has to wait for the perfect action, or wants to keep planning, or have every single detail down before you move, my invitation to you is to do anything, to try something, so that you get a reaction, you get some feedback, and then you will know. Because once you've made a decision, once you've taken some action, you will then get clarity about whether that was the right thing to do for you, and whether it's time to move forward and to do something different or not. If you're somebody who is very good at looking busy and does all the things, then my invitation to you is to hold off and feel into, check in tighter and closer with more observation and awareness to your own sense of intuition. Rather than doing 4 things, what one action is going to take you the furthest forward? Which one bigger thing or scarier thing sometimes is going to have the greatest impact or move you in a different way from usual? So I hope those are interesting things to think about. The replay will stay in this group if you want to watch it again. And as Always, we do load these up onto my YouTube channel, so if you're worried that you're going to miss one, you can always go and subscribe to me on YouTube, and you'll then get a notification when we've got new videos that go up. Next week, I cannot remember what we're talking about. Let me have a look. I think it's sales and marketing. Yeah, it's sales and marketing. We're going to do something on sales and marketing next week. So if you've got any particular questions, please, or there's something that you've always wanted to know about in terms of marketing or sales, then send me a DM and we'll pop that in and I can answer them for you next week. All right, I hope you're having a great week and I will see you all soon. Bye.